You ready?
We about to waste a lot of time.
Yeah, we are. We
laughing already.
Yeah, we about to just do about like 15, 20 minutes of this shit, okay? All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, bring you to the first actual show of Blerd Session podcast. I'm with my boy Wayniac over here. Yeah. And me and the homie was just discussing something, and we just want to run it by you guys.
Something I think is obvious.
Pretty obvious to us, but I don't think it's obvious to most. Now, it's basically the Jordans versus Avengers argument, or Avengers shoes argument. Now, we're in that day and age where, yes, we're used to purchasing Jordans all the time. They're just as regular as Nikes.
Not me. Go Knicks.
Not him, but most people, you know what I'm saying? That's like the culture, to buy Jordans, purchase Jordans, you know, invest in Jordans. Whatever you're doing with Jordans, that's cool. I wholeheartedly respect the culture. But is it necessary for us to force that on the next generation? Is it truly necessary for us to do that?
I don't think so.
And I have to agree.
Can't wait to jump in here.
No, that's where it is.
My arm looks swollen.
with Jordan, he's an icon. He is arguably, by others, hands down, the greatest basketball player of all time. See him nodding? He's a Knicks fan, and he can actually agree with that, you know. And we bought into that culture. Starks didn't really dunk on him.
To that in a minute.
Starks
chopped up, right? Trust me.
I'm not that ahead of time. Probably not. But like, Jordan was ahead of his time in regards to, I think, tenacity, the level of being a competitor he was at, and, you know, his brand. More so his brand is what we're going to focus on. You know, we bought in that culture. We've purchased the shoes since we were kids. I'm product of the 70s, really. I'm an 80s baby, but I'm a product of the 70s. So I grew up in that culture. I know what it was like to get those Jordan 1s and 2s when people just started showing up. I had Top Guns.
I don't even know the numbers of the Jordans.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 is where I fall off.
Whatever.
And that's where we're at. We're from that generation. We remember Jordan. We remember the highlights, the unbelievable scoring, the stuff that just came out of just storybooks.
I don't remember the shoes.
See, I mean that's what he would remember. Most of us can remember both. You know what I'm saying? But either way, we remember Jordan for the player he was, and it's crazy because his documentary just came on, so this goes great with that. But we bought into the shoes, we bought into the culture, we bought into the clothing. Why are we forcing our kids to buy into that? Why do I see 2 and 3 and 4-year-olds wearing Jordans? Why is that? Like, it doesn't make much sense. Like, they don't remember Jordans. Like, if you line up some Spider-Man shoes or some Captain America shoes or some Batman shoes or whatever shoes your kids are with, Ninja Turtles, against some Jordans, your kids are going to go with those Ninja Turtles.
I'm not even lining them Jordans up. I've had kids before. They're not going for the Jordans. I was around for the first round of the Jordans. They're not going for them. They're going to go for those. It was Bob the Builders back in my day. Now it's Spider-Man light up. It was back then too, but now it's Spider-Man light up. Now it's Batman light up. They're not going for that. So I'm just saying they're going to jump in every mud puddle on the way home. Just get those Bob the Builders. Grab those Jordans.
Yeah, and remember we were little, we had like Pickway and Payless and, you know, whatever else. You know, that's where you could go to get those knockoff shoes, those Spider-Man shoes, that stuff. That's like few and far between nowadays. But yet and still, it's more cost effective to get your kids those cheaper shoes that they want, as opposed to the cheaper shoes. I mean, they're more expensive.
They cry and scream about if you don't get.
Yeah, as opposed to those more expensive shoes that you want them to wear because you grew up wanting Jordans.
That Keisha and them gonna say, look at her baby in them Jordans.
That's what it is. I believe it's bragging rights, and we're forcing that on our kids unnecessarily, and it's basically teaching them to buy into a culture where we're spending money unnecessarily, you know, as opposed to buying something that
matters,
less costly to us. Like, Your kid will kick and scream for those Spider-Man shoes, people. They'll kick and scream for those Ninja Turtle shoes. They don't really care about those Jordans unless you tell them how important those Jordans are. We're telling our kids how important those Jordans are.
They never saw Jordan play. They don't care. Nobody knows. Like, the only people that you worried about is 40 years old, your age, and saying, look at that little kid in them Bob the Builders. And they broke too.
They broke too.
They broke too. Relax.
And here's my thing. Kids are like using, just from an educational standpoint, because I was a teacher, kids are using that as a reference point, as recollection. You know, Spider-Man, they recognize that. They recognize that stuff. Do you know what that Jordan symbol recognizes to a toddler? Nothing. But confusion. It's not a stop sign. It's not a highway sign. It's not a walk sign across the crosswalk. It's nothing. It's something peculiar that they'll only see on that shoe.
I believe if Jordan come out with some Jordans during the coronavirus, and that shows he's the worst person of all time.
That would be the worst.
Can you imagine the fights outside of the mall
Jesus Christ.
to wait for them to bring Jordans out? No.
I wondered they would line up for Jordans.
Yes,
Wouldn't they?
he already brought out The Last Dance. You did a good thing, man. It was free, kinda, because cable ain't free unless you steal it. But
we don't steal it.
No, we never would. No, that's ridiculous. Don't steal this podcast. Pay for this shit.
If you can.
For this.
Kick some money in it.
Yeah. But could you imagine that? So Jordan better not bring out no retros until all of this is over with. But I wouldn't buy any because I was around for the first round.
We witnessed Jordan.
Yeah.
You're not buying into any really any of Jordan's greatness by buying his shoes. Like, why do we line up? I can't shit on the culture. Like, I'm a fan of I'm a collector myself of other artifacts and collectibles, and I understand the collecting aspect. But like, did you witness Jordan? Did you see him reverse finger roll or shoot the jump shot with the fist pump? Did you see him like win those championship after championship? And even then, we did, and we still don't buy into that shoe aspect. Like, it's cool to have. I've had a couple Jordans. I'm pretty sure probably more than you. Like, you didn't really buy into Jordans.
I had a pair.
Yeah,
I bought a pair one time.
Right.
Let me tell you about my story about buying Jordans. I cut grass and stuff for these Jordans. I really wanted these Jordans because I was tired of getting left behind. Like, these Jordans come out, and all these dudes who is like a foot shorter than me, all of a sudden is the man, and he can't beat me in basketball. So I bought some Jordans, the red and black patent leathers. You know, the ones. Those are the ones to me. I don't know numbers, but the red and black patent leathers. And 2.5 weeks later, new Jordans came out. I wasn't the man no more.
Heartbreaking.
That was it for me. I'm like, Jordan, let me tell you what Jordan can do for me. I'm done with Jordan. John Starks dunked on Jordan. I got a poster of it. He dunked on him.
He has the poster.
Done.
It's with Jordan pushing Horace Grant into the way.
John Starks got some shoes too. They was $40.
Nobody cared. But yeah, like that Jordan, like
40.
we had that Jordan memory, you know. Ironically, his was cutting grass for Jordan. Mine was my parents buying me Jordans and me running out the first day of school, playing in the playground and dirtying them up in grass with grass stains all over them. So like, yeah, how dare I? And that's you like they'll never buy you any Jordans. And I bought some Jordans once I was working at an early age. I bought some Jordans at like 13, bought some at 14, and by the time I was like 17, I'm like, I'm cool. Like, what's the point? People lining up for him. Like, you're not buying into a piece of his greatness at all. You know, it's an unnecessary fashion statement.
Especially not in 2020.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly respect the people who, you know,
Did you know he
the
played
collectors.
for the Wizards at one time?
Play for the Wizards.
There ain't
Nobody
no
gets
Wizards Jordans.
There ain't no Wizards Jordan. Maybe there are. There
Are
probably are.
Are
He
Wizards
probably
Jordans?
did that to
I hope I
boost
said that and there are
sales.
Wizards Jordans, so you know I don't know the numbers.
We don't know. I don't know after 4. You know,
Jordan.
the 12s and the 11s. I think there was the Bugs Bunny ones. Those were live. You know, I like those. But yeah,
I just watched the Jordan documentary, and apparently the villain on Space Jam is Jerry Krause. I don't care what y'all say, that's Jerry Krause. It is. Look at him. His guy even one of the little strokey eye like he had, like, yeah. That's
what was
Jerry
his name?
Krause.
Wasn't that DeVito? That was DeVito.
No.
That was Danny DeVito.
Was
I
it?
think. Yeah,
Well,
I
they should have
think.
got Jerry.
They should have got
Jerry
Jerry
do anything for some money. So
That's
they should have got
hilarious.
Jerry.
Yeah,
I'm so glad Jerry came along and ruined that because it was getting ridiculous. It was getting ridiculous.
crazy.
Get these guys busted apart.
Wish they did.
All right.
But yeah, that's our memories of Jordan, and I'm not gonna buy some shoes over that.
Your kids don't have any of those memories. is
The
all
kids
I'm
don't
saying.
have those memories. They have
don't
memories of Spider-Man and Captain America and whatever stuff that allows them to be kids. Allow your kids to be kids. Allow them to enjoy walking around and looking down at those shoes as the sunlight hits them or they light up or whatever happens. You know, that's what's missing. You know,
How
we're stealing
dare
that
you
from our
fight
childhood
with a child
for over something they want.
Something
Some
that's gonna
tribute
make you look better. You think?
that you think.
I still could tell you from the square.
Yeah.
Cut it out.
It's a unnecessary status symbol that doesn't really work because everybody goes out their way to buy Jordans. You know, stop lining up for them. You know, or line up for them, but don't force it upon your kids because it's unnecessary.
One pair ever. I go to the carnival. I get 2 for the price of them Jordans for your baby. For your baby.
It's not that important, you guys. Like, get your kids some light up shoes.
You don't believe me? I got work boots. I have work boots that cost more than those Jordans. I do.
Hey,
I
yeah.
have them. Cost a lot more to make them too. They called. I'm not gonna say the name.
We're not advertising.
But trust me, like you don't believe me because you want to Google that shit. I know you do.
Yeah.
That costs a lot more.
It matters, you guys. It matters what you put on your feet as far as comfort and enjoyment. Don't force your joy on your kids through, you know, just some monetary status symbol. That's false.
I wouldn't do it. I mean, your son on the way home, because you're not going to the bus stop. So on the way home from the bus stop to your door, think about all the mud puddles and all those Jordans.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it.
Would
It's
you
not
prevent
something
your kid from jumping in the mud puddle?
The mud puddle,
Are you serious?
that is his life.
Over some shoes.
But this is his only joy. Think about that dude at the house playing. I'm not going to. Who's playing Madden at the house? Sorry.
Yeah, we want to do that. We want to do the Madden player at the house.
We're not
where
gonna
your
do
kid-
that. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
but
Your kid enjoys those mud puddles.
and I pay a lot for you to get that tax return. So keep those Jordans nice. Keep those Jordans nice.
But yeah, or just don't get the Jordans. They'll outgrow them in 3 months. I'm telling you. You know, they're going to outgrow them, so it's not even worth it. Just
I sat in
Charge it.
silence at the park and listened to people talking about the kids with the light up shoes and how they wouldn't be caught dead. And I'm like, didn't you walk to the park though? We drove to the park. Don't drive to the park in nice shoes if it's gonna get the truck repoed the next day. Just get the truck.
get the truck.
Get the truck.
Get the
The
truck
kid
and some
won't
light-up
even
shoes.
remember that they had on Bob the Builders or whatever they call them now. They won't even remember that.
Top Guns.
Top Guns.
So you get the kids some Top Guns.
As long as they
don't
make
care.
noise like a plane or light up like a plane, then they good.
They don't care, you guys.
You look like parent of the year versus what you like right now.
Yeah, and that's another thing. It's all about your kid's perception of you and not society's perception. You know, you matter more to your kid. You're teaching them life lessons and, you know, purchasing shoes manufactured
Do
to
not
basically
take
worship
your
something
son
they don't know.
to pick up that free breakfast because school was canceled in them Jordans because you look ridiculous. Now if they brand new, take them Bob the Builders. At least buy them just for that. Get them Bob the Builders because how you gonna have on a rag on your head that we know is fake, but they got on real Jordans and you're picking up real lunch? That's ridiculous. Like don't do that. Don't do that.
It's 2 out of
You
3.
look bad. You look bad. 2 out of 3. 2 out of 3 is a 66. That's an F. Even in Dayton public schools, that's an F. Don't do it. Don't do it.
They're doing fast math on them now. They ain't gonna be able to keep up.
You can do better than that. You can do better than that.
That's it, you guys. You know, that's our first show.
First take.
Yeah, that's
You
our
know?
first one. So
And I don't plan on being this fucked up next time.
I do.
Just a little. Just a little. I've overdone it. Pre-game before I got here. I've overdone it.
yeah,
But next time. Hey, this was good to get this out the way.
yeah,
Yeah.
slick. Hey,
Yeah.
see y'all next time.